Every great army in history trains the same way. They fought themselves. Drills, war games, exercises where one unit played the attacker and another unit played the defender. Not because they enjoyed losing to their own people, because every loss in practice was a lesson they didn't have to learn the hard way. In security, we formalized this, and we gave each side colors. Welcome back. I'm the architect. Last episode, we met the party. 5 classes, 5 disciplines, each one covering a part of the problem no other class can. Today, we go deeper on the oldest and most important dynamic in the party, the one that defines how offense and defense relate to each other. Red team, blue team, and the thing that happens when they stop keeping score and start sharing notes. Red team, the attackers, your own attackers. A red team exists to simulate real threats against your organization. They probe the network, test defenses, attempt to breach systems using the same techniques that actual adversaries would use. Phishing campaigns against your own employees, exploitation of vulnerabilities inside your applications, physical intrusion attempts against your own facilities. All authorized, all planned, all designed to answer a single question. Can we actually be breached, and how? The red team's job is not to embarrass the defenders, although it sometimes does. The red team's job is to find the real gaps before someone with worse intentions finds them first. Think of the rogue in the party, slipping past the guards, picking the lock on the treasury, not to steal the gold, but to prove to the king that the gold can be stolen, and then standing in front of the court and saying, "This is how I did it. This is what needs to change." That report is the entire value of the red team. The breach is the evidence. The remediation is the point. Blue team, the defenders. This is most of your security organization. The people who build, monitor, and maintain the defenses every day. SOC analysts watching the alerts, security engineers configuring the tools, the people who write the detection rules and tune them when they fire too often, or not often enough. The blue team doesn't get a dramatic operation with a code name. The blue team gets Tuesday. An unending stream of alerts, a network that changes constantly, users who find creative new ways to do dangerous things for perfectly reasonable business reasons. The blue team is the watch on the wall. Every day, every shift, awake at 3 a.m. because something triggered and someone has to look at it. The blue team's job is not to be impenetrable. We've covered that in episode 4. Impenetrable doesn't exist. The blue team's job exists to detect, respond, and contain, fast enough that the attacker's operation fails before it reaches the crown jewels. The blue team doesn't need to win every encounter. They need to make losing too expensive for the attacker to sustain. Now here's where it gets interesting. Red and blue team have a natural tension. The red team succeeds by proving the blue team still has gaps. The blue team succeeds by stopping the red team cold. In a poorly run organization, this becomes competitive, personal. The red team celebrates their wins. The blue team resents being shown up. Nobody shares information. Nobody improves. And the actual enemy benefits from this dysfunction. The red team finds a way in, but doesn't explain it clearly enough to fix. The blue team patches the specific finding, but misses the systemic weakness underneath it. Both sides claim victory. Neither side gets better. This is the party where the rogue and the wizard hate each other and refuse to coordinate. It's a very bad party. Purple team. Red and blue combined. Not a separate team. A mode of operation. Cyber defense. A purple team exercise is collaborative. The red team attacks in real time, and the blue team watches. Not after the fact. Not in a report delivered 2 weeks later. During. The red team says, I'm going to attempt lateral movement using this technique. The blue team watches their tools and says, we saw it, or we didn't. If the detection fired, good. If it didn't, now both sides know exactly where the gap is, and they fix it together, right there, in the same room, before the exercise moves on to the next technique. But here's the discipline that makes it actually work. Before they fix it, they document it. What was the technique? What tool was used? What detection should have fired and didn't? What the indicator looked like in the logs. This is the forensic instinct applied to offense, not just patching the hole the rogue found, understanding exactly what the hole looked like from the inside so the wizard knows what to watch for the next time. The rogue picks the lock, turns to the artificer and says, here's what I exploited. The artificer fixes the lock. The wizard writes down what the exploitation attempt looked like in the traffic. No ego, no scoreboard. Just the systemic improvement of every defense in the kingdom by having the best available attacker test them live while the defenders watch, learn, and record. The reason this dynamic matters so much is that it solves one of the hardest problems in security. You don't know what you can't see. The blue team can run their tools every day, watch the dashboards, and tune the rules, and still miss something fundamental, because they're testing their defenses against the threats that they already know about. The red team brings the threats they don't know about, the ones that are actually out there, novel, new, the techniques that real adversaries are using right now. Without a red team, the blue team is guessing. With a red team, but no collaboration, the blue team is reacting. With a purple team approach, both sides are building. And this maps directly to the monster manual. Every technique we cataloged, the phishing campaigns, the malware, the lateral movement, the supply chain compromise, is a technique a red team can simulate. And every simulation that doesn't trigger a detection is a defense that needs to be built. The core lesson. Testing your defenses is not optional. And testing them collaboratively is how you actually improve. The red team is not the enemy of the blue team. The red team is the sparring partner. A fighter who only trains against a bag will not be ready for a real opponent. The blue team that only watches for known threats will not be ready for a novel one. Sparring hurts. It's supposed to. That's what makes it work. Your quest objective. Think about the last time you tested a defense in your own life. Not trusted it, tested it. Your backup. Have you actually restored from it? Your password manager. Do you know what happens if you lose the master password? Your MFA. Do you have recovery codes stored somewhere accessible? Testing is how you find out whether the thing you rely on actually works. Everything else is assumption. Pick one defense. Test it out this week. We've established how the rogue and the wizard work together, how offense and defense sharpen each other. Now we go deeper into each class individually, starting with the one who keeps everyone honest, even when the honesty is the last thing anyone in the room wants to hear. The paladin, governance, risk, and compliance, the law of the land, and the reason the kingdom is still standing when the auditor arrives. I'm the architect. We'll talk soon.